where you download an app? Yes. And are you honest on it? Because I lie on my own app. I do. I'm the only one that sees it, and I lie on it. This morning, I had a quart of cream, and I wrote down 1 tablespoon. I am the biggest liar. It is... But I started lying on other apps, too. Like, I got a Fitbit and strapped it onto my Greyhound and took him to the track. And I ran 38,000 miles. Yeah, it was really good.
There's Jessica Kirson admitting to killing a dog. How's that going to play on stage at Hilarities this weekend?
Well, listen.
Dog killer?
Yeah, no, I didn't. That joke has changed over time. That was the beginning of that joke, but now it's much funnier.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's how things evolve, right? I thought that I was going to be a Fitbit guy about a year or so ago.
Yeah.
And I had it on for a little while, and I go, I'm not a Fitbit guy. I'm not going to do this.
No, I actually ate mine, but yeah, I do lie on my Weight Watchers app. That's not.
I think everybody does that. It's a ridiculous thing to do, but I feel like everybody does it.
Well, we all lie. I mean, I do lie. I've always struggled with weight stuff. I've lost a lot of weight. I really have, but I do lie to myself constantly. Like I'll eat Tostitos, and I'll tell myself it's corn, like it's a vegetable.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You could do a lot worse.
What?
People that are eating a bag of like flavor blasted. Everything's flavor blasted now.
Right, that's true.
If you're eating Fritos, if you read something, they go, well, Fritos are just corn and oil.
Yeah.
But you got to really enjoy corn and oil to eat a whole thing of Fritos.
Yeah, well, I do. I enjoy both, so that's...
corn and oil.
Yeah, I could drink oil. I mean, I'm disgusted. I'm a garbage can.
And yet... You said you lost a lot of weight.
A ton.
And you're visibly thinner. You look fantastic.
Oh my God, I was enormous. And people get upset sometimes when I say that on stage, but I was very heavy. And I went to a nutritionist when I was like 300 pounds, and I literally was about to get on the scale, and she's like, you might want to take your shoes off.
Mm-hmm. Every little bit helps.
Yeah, and I'm like, honey, I ate my shoes. Like I need a plan, or I'm going to eat you. Like I am out of control.
Well, because they say it's like 95% diet. So even people who go, I hate going to the gym, they go, figure your eating out and it'll happen.
I'm an addict.
Yeah.
So I had to, I'm literally I'm sober. So I'm an addict. So I had to give up bread, pasta. I can't eat sugar. There's things I cannot eat because I can't have a little. I cannot have one slice of bread. I eat a loaf.
Right. One's too much, 10's not enough.
Exactly.
It's like anything else.
You're one of the people that are like, why would you slice this? we had one serving, and now you're cutting it all up.
Why would you slice? It's exactly true.
I don't need portions for this. I found my portion.
Right.
I'll tear and dip, but I don't need a slice.
Right. Slice it in half. Don't slice it in 12 pieces.
Jessica Kirson is at Hilarities this weekend. First time at Hilarities?
Yes, which is
How
crazy.
is that?
I don't know.
Yes.
I've traveled. I'm away every weekend on the road, and just sometimes you don't. You just don't go to a club. There's so many clubs in the country. There's 1,000, so you just randomly don't go to a club. But
Great club.
Yeah, all my friends in New York.
I'm sure everyone
here.
told you about it.
Of course, and so many comics have told them about me. But it's like, I'm so excited to be here. Yeah, it just never lined up. And for years, I did other things. I did college tours. I was on cruise ships for a while. I've, worked on television shows and movies. So this is, I can't wait to go.
Yeah, you've been busy for a long time.
Yeah, I have.
I saw you for the first time in New York City, and I want to say it was the Cellar, but it was Cellar or Gotham. Yeah, I was like a year into doing comedy, and me and my buddies went out there, and I can't remember exactly which club it was, but it might have been a few different clubs because you are that you have that kind of established career in New York, and man, just losing my mind laughing because you are so good and just so very, very creative. But it's not just creative with the writing; it's the creative with the performing and the facial expressions and all that different stuff. And I still don't think there's another comic you have Jim Carrey-esque ability with your movements and faces and voices and stuff like that, but then your writing is up there with the greats too,
Thank you. That's very sweet.
When did you start? How did you start?
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, I just wanted,
I'll give you a 20.
Gas is a little more expensive than that.
I know. That's one. Yeah, that's 1 gallon. That means a lot coming from someone who does stand up. You know, I appreciate that. And I really do try to be different because it's important. It's very important. I started in 1999, so I've been doing it for 23 years. And it's a lot. It's it's not an easy thing to do. And I love it. I really, really love it. And you know, it's important to be different. I teach comedy. I actually teach now female comics, but I've taught a lot of guys too. I taught Chris DiStefano. I taught Amy Schumer. I taught Rosebud Baker. I love teaching stand up, and I always tell people you have to be original and different, and because there's so many people who do the same stuff over and over, and it's important to you know, make people leave and go, oh wow, and remember you.
And I did remember you and this is before social media and everything. Yeah. And then like seeing you get on TV shows and be in documentaries and stuff like that. I'm like, I remember seeing her at the, you know, the club.
Yeah.
You and Rachel Feinstein did the Call Girls.
Yeah.
And I hit her up because I go, this is the funniest goddamn thing I've heard in a long, long time.
That.
It's the two of you making, it's like the Jerky Boys,
yes,
but a couple of girls, and it's so funny.
Well, Rachel and I have always had a connection. We started the exact same time.
Yeah.
It's funny. We're two Jewish girls who both do characters. Both of our mothers are therapists. We both grew up in such a similar thing. And it's funny when we both always say when we met, we were like, oh, wait a second. This girl's kind of just like me. Who felt a little like threatened.
The rivalry, a quiet rivalry.
Yeah.
Maybe, possibly.
Yeah. When we were like, should we not like each other? And then we just ended up like falling in love with each other and becoming really close friends and realizing we're very different on stage in so many ways. And we had this bond, and she's my closest friend in this business. We're like sisters. We talk every day, and we ended up creating stuff together. And we've always done these crazy characters and worn wigs and gone out on the street and made videos together, and they're on YouTube. And we created this prank album together during COVID, and both sat in our houses and filmed it and called businesses and drove them crazy and harassed them. And we do a lot of stuff together. We're doing Moon Tower Comedy Festival together. We go on stage together.
Where is that?
It's in Austin.
Yeah, okay.
And we've done it at the DC Improv and at a lot of different places in New York where we go on stage together and just literally do like an act together and do our jokes and do a Q&A at the end.
I like to see more of that happening, whether it's like bumping mics or like Mulaney and Kroll doing the old guys or whatever.
That's what we're doing.
I like that kind of two-person thing.
Yeah, and no women do it. So it's like our kind of, people love it when we do it.
You've carved out your own little thing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what my daughter said. She came and watched me do a set the other night, and the first thing she goes, you need to write more jokes. Because she had heard one of them before, and I was like, she's 21, and I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, honestly, you should take me up there with you. I'm like, Go figure out your comedy first, and then I'll bring it.
Feel free.
That's cute.
Yeah.
My daughter's an actress, and I've brought her on stage with me. She's amazing. She's going to be 16, but I love having her on stage with me. But you should do that. I can't believe you have a 21-year-old daughter. You look so young.
I have 3 stepkids that I've raised since they were little, and so my ex-wife is a little older than me. So they're the oldest is 23, 21, and then 19. So,
oh, that's great.
Yeah. What were your square jobs back in the day?
Well, I went for a master's in social work.
You were going to follow in Mom's footsteps,
I
maybe?
I was. I wanted to be a therapist. I mean, I did want to be a therapist, but it was way too depressing.
Right.
So I say I do the same thing now.
So
except
comedy.
I was going to say,
now I'm about to cut myself. But
there are fresh insights you can gain from that.
Yeah. Well, I say it's the same thing, except I don't have to listen. I talk. Right? It's similar.
Yeah.
But I was into sales. I come from a sales business family. And, that's what I did. I was in sales and stuff like that. But I started doing this, and this is going to sound like I'm trying to be funny, but it really was so depressing from the beginning. I'm like, this is perfect. It's just so uncomfortable and causing me so much angst that it's
right
really,
in your wheelhouse.
I really mean it. It was so familiar to me. I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah. We were talking about cruises last segment, and I know that you do a bunch of, or
I did. I
some of
can't
them.
even think.
That there are people who live on these cruise ships, and it's like, I remember years and years and years ago, before I did stand up before radio, and even before I really knew what I was doing, comics would go on cruises because the money was so good.
Great.
But friends of mine would try to get me out there, and they'd be like, well, you're out there for like 3 months, and I'm like, I don't think that I can do that. And they would all come back like borderline suicidal because you can't do anything above like G-rated anyway. And
oh my God.
Yeah.
It's horrific. I mean, I never did that like 3 months at a time.
Right.
But I would do maybe 2 weeks was the longest. And at first it's fun.
It's fun for about 48 hours, 72 hours.
Yeah, the first time you start doing it, I mean, I would go on these Royal Caribbean cruises, and they were 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 passengers, and these ships are unbelievable.
Yeah.
So it's amazing.
Yeah.
But then once you start doing them for a while, year after year, it's horrific. I mean, you have some guy that keeps coming up to you everywhere you go. He's there. You should do a joke about my...
Right. Because you're in a confined space. It's not like you leave the club and go back to the hotel.
Right, unless you jump. There's nowhere to go.
You're seeing the crowd at the buffet.
Right, and it's just the worst possible crowd. I mean, they do have late night shows, but sometimes you have to do a completely different show. So you have to do one 45-minute show clean, and then you have to do another 45 different show. There's kids.
Right.
So they're like, and you'll just hear a baby crying, then someone will die. And there were sometimes dead people come to the audience. They've already died.
They have a real cradle to the grave program there on cruise ships.
They'll just wheel in dead people. There's a baby. There's someone's farting.
We don't got any more room in the freezer, so we just put them in here.
Yeah, half of them don't even understand English. It's really a nightmare. But then I've done the gay cruises, which are heaven.
Yeah.
So those are mostly all gay men, and those are a blast.
Now,
those I'll do.
This is going to sound like a really stupid question.
You can ask anything
Why are
you
those
want.
more fun?
Because gay men laugh at everything. They really they don't get sensitive. You can say anything you want. The darker you are, the better. And it's just they don't. On those,
it's like having nurses in the audience.
Yeah,
nurses are great audience members because they've seen it all. They've done, and so dark humor, they're on board.
Will you laugh at anything, Poundcake?
Yes, I will.
Yeah. Here's Poundcake laughing at somebody dying. Yeah. Hey, that guy fell off a building. Is he going to be okay? Oh, I think he'll be all right. Is he? You want to call an ambulance or something? Or he's very So you don't have to worry about, and you don't have to worry about babies in the crowd on the gay cruise either.
No, you don't have to worry about anything.
Dead people. Nothing.
Those are the best. They have the best parties. They I
co-sign all of this. I've never been on a gay cruise, but I want to. So
you should go on the gay cruise.
Oh, they are, and I've done them with the biggest celebrity. I did one with Carrie Fisher, with Wanda Sykes, with a ton of people.
Yeah.
Kristen Chenoweth.
Kathy Griffin.
Yes, I've done them with, I'm not kidding, with so many stars, and they get the best DJs from all over the world. They fly them in, lasers and lighting, and the parties are unbelievable.
Yeah, it's not a bunch of retirees.
Oh my God,
who are wandering in.
These guys work out,
jacked,
and they are
literally have
jacked.
sex in front of everyone. They do.
Oh, I'm like, you don't even know. I literally went into the jacuzzi once and got pregnant, and I was like 45. I mean, it was.
Hey, congratulations, Mazel tov. Nice.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
But they're a progressive boat, so you don't stay pregnant on there.
No. They even have a sex deck. I mean, I talk about it in my car on stage where they fool around. And I said if lesbians had one, they would just be like up there crying and eating hummus.
Yeah.
But they have, it's really...
The hummus deck is not as much fun.
Yeah, the sobbing deck.
Right.
A sex deck. That's amazing.
Yeah. They just go up there and I had to go see what was going on.
Yeah.
So I just, the
enchantment of
now,
the
was
seas.
it just the name, or was it live up to the
Well, I was afraid
label?
people would recognize me because I already performed, but then I just told everyone I was a bear, a gay bear, because I look like one kind of. So
Put on a woolly cap.
Yeah. So, but those are great. And I'm a little weary of doing a cruise ship again anyway because of just being grossed out at this point.
Well, post-COVID too. I mean, that's not. Are you like a germaphobe or anything like that? Or no, that's good.
No.
It's the one thing you're not addicted to.
No.
Germophobia.
Yeah. This is unbelievable, but the last gay cruise I did, period, this is unreal was to Alaska, which is gorgeous. But I ended up having to get my gallbladder. We were going to an island called Sitka in Alaska, and I had a horrible pain in my stomach and went down to the hospital below deck, which for me means that I feel like I'm dying. Like I would never have gone down there unless I was in horrific pain. I turned yellow. I was in horrible pain, and I had to get my gallbladder removed. Can you believe this? At an island.
Yeah, they had to like get you off.
They had to take me off in an ambulance. It was so dramatic because all the gay men were like on their balconies watching me get it. They were like, "Oh my God, what is happening with Jessica Kirson?" Like flinging all over the balconies, like just freaking out because I had to stay there. The ship left. I had to stay there by myself in this hospital with one operating room. It was tiny
because you got to recoup or whatever.
I had it. They had to do it there.
Did you have to get a flight out? Like, how did you?
I had
when it was time to go.
I had to stay there for days by myself, and I had to have an operation there. And this guy, they have like traveling doctors who go there like from the army. Just one guy who's there for I guess 3 months at a time. A surgeon. He operated on me. And then I flew from there to Seattle, and my dad met me there and flew me home to New York. It was horrible.
Poof.
Yeah, it was my first operation, too. This was like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But that was my last experience on a cruise ship, so I'm not really looking forward to... I really am not jumping.
Guys, last time it was the gallbladder. I don't want to tempt fate again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Did they at least send you home with the gallbladder? They at least put it in a jar and send it off with you? Or anything
no,
like
but
no.
They're like, "Do you want to see it?" I'm like, "No, I'm okay." Not really.
It was in my body, and apparently my body didn't want it anymore, so that's okay. Jessica Kirson is doing her first time at Hilarities this weekend. How that has happened, who knows? But there are plenty of shows that you can go to. If you go to pickwickandfrolic.com, you can get the info. You can go to jessicakirson.com.
And I think that gallbladder story will really get people to buy tickets.
I think so, too.
That's why I told it.
Listen, it's going to make you lighter on your feet. People can identify with being in the hospital in Alaska. And, it's beautiful. There's bears and whales. And
there's probably people listening. They're like, I have my gallbladder out, too.
Yeah.
I got to go see
She
this
feels
lady.
my pain. I know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's a special kind of torture.
Yeah.
The Call Girls is very funny for people who are looking for that. You have a handful of podcasts that you host as well.
Yeah. The truth is people that should come to see me, I'm not just, a lot of people think, female I'm not, I don't just appeal to women. I really don't.
No.
I appeal to men and women. And I do a lot of characters. I do a lot of crowd work, very just spur of the moment kind of stuff.
It's a very fluid show.
Yeah,
it's very
funny.
It's a very fun watch because it is like it. Honestly, I'm surprised that you were as big as you were just because you do put so much energy into your show.
Yeah, you mean that I didn't drop dead.
You would have burned off so
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're just. You're not like running all over the stage, but like there's not like a lull where you're like,
no, there's no lulls.
What am I thinking about?
No, there's no lulls. It's very energetic.
Yeah.
Basically, I really believe that people need to be entertained, that if you pay for the show, you should not have to think a lot. I put in 110%, and you pay for the show, and you're going to get a show, like a real show. And I put that into every single show I do.
Well, it's a great club. You'll get a great crowd.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you came in. Nice to meet you.
Me too.
Thanks
you guys
for coming
are great.
In. Yeah. Jessica Kirson is at Hilarities this weekend. You can find her on Instagram at Jessie Kirson, Kirson. And we will take a break. If you want to text for anything,